There is a moment every successful person faces. The first time you realize not everyone who knows you wants to see you win, and it shocks you because you thought growth would bring celebration. Instead, it revealed silence, distance, tight smiles, and suddenly, winning feels lonelier than struggling ever did. Stay with me. Today we're talking about how to rise without shrinking, how to hold grace for people who can't clap, and how to stay rooted in purpose when success brings shadows. By the end of this video, you'll know why your growth triggers certain people, how to discern envy versus discomfort versus protection, how INFJs internalize other people's reactions, when to offer grace and when to set distance, how to celebrate yourself without dimming your light, and a framework to stay spiritually grounded in your rise. This isn't about arrogance, it's about alignment, truth, self-possession. Your journey deserves celebration, even if you have to start the applause yourself. I recently hit milestones I used to dream about: high-level collaborations, studio lights, recognition, acceleration. Rooms I prayed for and prepared for opened, and then something unexpected happened. I felt proud, but also quiet, almost hesitant to share, because I could feel who celebrated and who went silent. And that silence used to sting, but now I recognize it as part of expansion. Not everyone grows at your pace. Not everyone has healed enough to clap. And compassion doesn't mean shrinking. It means seeing clearly and rising anyway. If you've ever felt guilty for doing well, if you questioned whether sharing good news makes you too much, if people changed when you leveled up, this conversation is for you. You are not imagining it. Success brings mirrors, not just applause. And most people aren't angry you won. They're grieving the version of themselves who didn't try. Why people stop clapping. Let's start with truth, because avoidance breeds confusion. Not clapping doesn't always mean hate. It can mean pain, fear, insecurity, or unhealed comparison, but patterns tell truth. And INFJs, we feel patterns before we see them. Why some people can't clap for you. Let's talk about why some people struggle to celebrate you, not as judgment, but as understanding, because awareness gives you power and grace gives you peace. Sometimes it's not that they don't love you, it's that your growth touches places in them they haven't healed yet. Let me break this down. Envy sounds like this: your success exposes where I haven't grown. It's not hatred, it's pain. Your progress becomes a mirror, and not everyone is ready to face their own reflection. Insecurity says, I fear I can't do what you did. Your courage triggers their self-doubt. They aren't mad at you. They're terrified they might never rise to their own potential. Abandonment fear whispers, if you grow, you'll leave me. They see your evolution as loss, not because you did anything wrong, but because they don't trust life to let them keep the people they love. Ego rigidity sounds like, your win wasn't supposed to come first. They expected the timeline to favor them, and watching you move ahead forces them to question the story they wrote in their own head. And then there's the scarcity mindset. If you shine, I lose light. As if the universe only printed one ticket to success. They've been taught that success is a pie, and your slice somehow shrinks theirs. But here's the truth. Success is not a pie, it's a sunrise. We can all stand in the same light, so when people don't clap, it's rarely about your worth. It's a reflection of their wounds, their fears, their conditioning. And understanding this helps you detach, not with arrogance, with peace, not with bitterness, with wisdom. You don't need to shrink to make anyone feel safe. Their healing is their journey. Your rising is yours. Sometimes God elevates you in silence first so you learn who claps out of love, who claps out of performance, and who claps only when they're louder than you. I recently had a moment where I was recognized for my preparation, presence, and vision in a room I used to dream of. And afterward, when I shared a glimpse, quiet, not disappointment, not attack, just emotional absence. And that told me something. Success doesn't isolate you. It reveals who was standing next to you, for the old version of you, and it's okay. Growth isn't betrayal. Evolution isn't ego. You don't owe anyone your smallness. INFJ internal struggle. INFJs feel deeply, so when others withdraw, we self-reflect, self-blame, over-explain, shrink to keep peace, dim to stay relatable. But that's not sensitivity. That's loyalty, mixed with responsibility we were never meant to carry. Psychological insight, emotional attunement is a superpower, but without boundaries, it becomes emotional captivity. Your empathy doesn't mean you must stay where applause is conditional. Let's talk about grace, not as softness, but as sovereignty. Grace without boundaries is martyrdom. Grace with self-ownership is mastery. How to have grace while staying powerful. Principle 1. Interpret silence correctly. Not clapping does not equal hate, but it does not equal loyalty either. Grace means seeing the difference without judgment and choosing peace over resentment. Boundaries are not punishment, they're clarity. Principle 2. Celebrate yourself out loud. Hiding your light doesn't heal others, it starves your destiny. Celebrate while staying humble. Honor your work. Let your wins breathe. Those meant for your future will join the applause. Others will adjust or quietly exit. Both are blessings. Principle 3, don't explain your calling. Elevation doesn't need permission. Vision is solitary. Destiny is personal. The people who don't get it today will retell your story differently when you're global. Stay focused, not defensive. Daily practices INFJs need. Release others from the responsibility to understand you. Stop narrating your worth. Embody it instead. Let silence be a filter. Remember, humility is confidence without noise. Celebrate progress privately and publicly. Pray before reacting. Forgive, but don't re-enter misaligned spaces. Grace isn't shrinking. Grace is choosing alignment over approval. If this is resonating, pause and breathe. Now tell me in the comments, has growth ever made you feel isolated? And if you're new here, welcome. We go deep. Subscribe if you value emotional intelligence, high self-awareness, and quiet power. Keep going. Your rise isn't an apology. Real elevation is silent first, not because you're hiding, but because you're becoming. Those who clap for you while they're still climbing, keep them close. Those who fall silent, bless them. Love them, but don't shrink for them. You are allowed to grow in public. You are allowed to win without guilt. You can be grateful and ambitious. You can shine without permission. Everyone won't understand your path. That's why God gave it to you. Walk it boldly. If today hit your heart, tell me, what stage of growth are you in right now? Blooming, building, breaking old limits, becoming who you were meant to be, and binge the INFJ series. We go layer by layer through intuition, identity, boundaries, and emotional strategy. Your rise isn't arrogance, it's alignment. Stay rooted, stay gracious, stay powerful. I'll see you in the next one.